Happy Homebrew Wednesday, folks. Look who's back. My pal Corey.
How's it going?
We're going to try some beer today because that's how we roll.
Beer tastings are awesome.
See here we have a little stout. This is the stout recipe that I came up with, which I started off by trying to combine two Northern Brewer recipes, their cream ale and their dry Irish stout, and then kind of just went a totally different direction with it. So, you've already tasted it.
I have.
And technically I have too, but just not today.
Yeah, every time I take a different sip of this beer, I pick out different qualities to it. A few sips ago, I was picking out some vanilla, but now I'm getting more of a cocoa puff, the chocolatiness. Not picking up much roastiness, but...
Oh, there were cacao nibs put in this too.
Oh, that's probably what I'm picking up now.
Fermentation restarted in secondary after I racked on top of those. But I'd never had fermentation restart in secondary. And I wasn't expecting that with those, but I mean, it kind of made sense. And nobody mentioned it online when I was researching them a little bit. It's a whole bag of the Brewer's Best cacao nibs.
Wow.
Which I think is like 4 ounces or something.
That's a pretty decent amount of nibs for 5 gallons of beer, I feel.
Yeah, I was hoping I would get more chocolate flavor out of it, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, as the beer warms up, I'm getting more of the chocolate out of it.
Yeah, it does kind of come out a little bit. Kind of reminds me of one of the beers that I reviewed. I can't remember which one. I was kind of on a chocolate stout kick for a few weeks when I was doing Ryan Taste Beer recordings.
Right.
And one of them I couldn't even figure out why it was a chocolate stout. And I'm kind of wondering if I would have let it warm a little bit if I would have picked up those notes. Because it just tastes, I mean, it was, for a stout, I would say it was decent. But I can't remember what it was either. I'd have to go back and look.
Was it the Samuel Smith's?
I don't think that was one of them I even tried.
Okay.
I tried, let's see, Young's Double Chocolate Stout, which you kind of get some chocolate in there. The Fort Collins one, I think, is Shake, but I think that's a chocolate porter. And I think that's the one where you open the bottle and it's like chocolate. I mean, it was so delicious. And then there was a third one, and I can't remember what it was. I probably threw the bottle away, but it might still be on the shelf of bottles out there, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, those turned out pretty good. I was thinking with the amount of specialty malts that you used, along with the special dark, it would have a pretty high final gravity, similar to a milk stout, but...
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but I can look it up here. Well, I can't look up the exact thing. I think I got close to target on it, but...
I'd say maybe 1018, 1019.
Apparently I don't have one. Let's see if it's in the cloud. Let's see. I don't know. I'd have to go actually go try to find it because I don't. Oh, here it is. So it should have original gravity. The estimated was 1049, and the estimated final would be 1013.
1013. Okay.
I'm really bad at checking my final gravity, so I never actually know it. I care more about the beginning, and then I just assume everything will be fine.
Yeah, as long as you don't end up with what's essentially malt syrup to give stalled fermentation, it's generally going to produce beer that's at least drinkable, and in this case, pretty nice. Yeah, not well.
I'd like to try this as a partial mash at some point. And it'd be really easy because I use Special Dark and Golden Light.
Yeah, so you could just take the roasted barley from the Special Dark, and what else was in there?
Well, I was thinking more just keep the Special Dark and just replace the Golden Light with 2-row. And
yeah. Oh yeah, that'd work.
I don't know. I'd be curious to see, or I'd be curious to see how that would affect the taste.
That'd be interesting. you could possibly mash a little bit lower for your partial mash, and then be able to drop the final gravity a few points and get more towards the dry Irish side of what you're shooting for. Or...
Yeah. I don't know that I would do the cacao nibs again. They're a little pricey. And I don't think there's much value in what their price was. So I want to say they're either $8 or $10, which I don't think they contributed much.
Yeah.
Or if I did it, I'd maybe try boiling them instead. I don't know. I just don't know how they are really supposed to contribute. And I don't feel like they did anything to this.
Yeah. I guess I haven't used cacao nibs in any of my recipes so far, so...
This is the only one I ever did.
It's definitely interesting. I just want picking up vanilla in the aftertaste of this, though.
Yeah, I kind of got that too. I don't know what that would be from.
Not sure either.
Unless it's something it's... I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I would remember to put the Belgian IPA in the fridge. That one is a complex one to taste. And it never gets worse in flavor. It changes a little bit. But it's very citrusy.
I do enjoy Belgian IPAs. Which Belgian yeast did you use for that?
This was the Bry 97.
Bry 97.
Which is the Dan Star yeast.
No,
this was not the Bry 97. What's the Bry 97 then? It was the Bry 97 was in something else. I want to say this is whenever Dan Star Saison yeast was in the Belgian IPA.
Oh.
The Bell Saison. That's what it's called.
Or you Saison yeast for it?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember what Bry 97 was for. All right, so we have another beer. This is the modified Speckled Heifer, which is a clone of Spotted Cow. See, in the original recipe, one of the grains was flaked barley, and I believe we replaced it with flaked oats. And then the yeast was supposed to be either USO5 and I can't remember what the Y yeast equivalent was.
Let's see, Y yeast is 1056.
It may have been 1056. And the brew shop had neither of them. So I went with White Labs California Ale yeast, which is like WLP001. I don't think the taste changed all that much from the original Speckled Heifer recipe. But I do think it still tastes better than actual Spotted Cow.
I'm picking up, you said flaked oats, right?
I believe so.
Feeling a little bit in the mouthfeel. Gives it a bit more fullness than I would expect from Spotted Cow. I only had Spotted Cow once because, well, it's kind of hard to get New Glarus here in Iowa. But
right.
After
drinking, because I had the clone before I had original Spotted Cow.
Right.
And I thought original Spotted Cow seemed more watery than the clone. Even though it wasn't, it wasn't that it was watered down, but it seemed that it wasn't as full as the clone was.
Yeah, that definitely is.
Spotted Cow is still good, but I think I'd rather have this than...
It's well attenuated, very dry, but at the same time, the flaked oats just give it kind of that extra that you don't really get with your standard session beers or anything lower ABV like Spotted Cow or typical pale ales.
And I'm glad we didn't see that mess of yeast that I was telling you about. It seemed to have not been poured, so...
Yeah, that is nice.
And they're all the 12-ounce bottles that came out, so... But I don't know what the flaked barley would have done to the beer. Or I can't remember, at least. I probably didn't spend that much time analyzing the taste.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I don't unless you're here. Then I start really thinking about flavors.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. The flaked barley might have feel been a little bit darker, a little bit higher SRM with the flaked barley, but
I'm not sure where the sweetness comes from. That's the part I get stuck on. It's 2-row.
mm-hmm.
I want to say flaked maize,
Right.
flaked oats.
Okay.
And I want to say there's another grain, and then probably an extra light DME.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with all that,
Or maybe like golden light or Pilsen light LME. Well, extra light DME and like probably Pilsen or golden light
mm-hmm.
LME.
Yeah, with the flaked oats, you might have a few extra beta glucans over the roasted flaked barley, but that is a little bit sweeter. But it also could have been the fermentation.
Let's see if I can figure out. I think there's a third grain in there too. Let's look that up quick.
And when did you bottle this?
This was bottled, I want to say 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, I really like it. It's definitely a little bit fuller than I remembered Spotted Cow being, but I like a little bit fuller bodied beers to begin with.
Carapils is the other thing in there.
Oh, Carapils. Okay. Yeah. I think the Spotted Cow that I had definitely was not nearly as fresh as this is. So I feel that definitely has this going for it. But no, that's good. It's quite enjoyable.
I think you could sit down and drink a few of these.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it's better than the Northern Brewer Cream Ale. I don't think you have that one. You haven't made anything that was really sessionable, have you?
For what I've made that's sessionable, my oatmeal stout came out right around 5% ABV.
Okay.
Also, I did an English pale ale that was right around 4.5%. So.
I guess I should rephrase what I'm saying. You haven't made any cream ale styles. Everything's been hopped or stouty, portery, right?
You got me there.
Yep.
That is a definite truth. But I do tend to gravitate more towards the hoppy beers, and also I was prepping for winter at the time, so definitely had a few stouts, and I will say that probably my favorite go-to style besides my IPAs is the oatmeal brown ale. So it's definitely a style that I enjoy and brewed a few times. Yeah. Haven't done any cream ales though.
I do kind of like them every once in a while. They're pretty plain, really, and this is, like I said, sweeter than just a regular cream ale. But like, I know I can give this to a normal beer drinker.
Right.
By normal beer drinker, I mean those Miller Lite piss drinkers.
The BMCs.
The BMCs.
Bud Miller Coors.
Yes.
Yes.
And that they would probably enjoy this.
Yeah, that is true. I also found that I was able to accomplish that with the honey ale that I brewed as well, though. That one seemed to go over pretty well.
Yeah, I don't remember who all actually got to taste that. I think everyone... Yeah, I don't know. I don't think my family ever tried that one.
Oh, really?
The few people that did, I think, were all craft beer drinkers, so...
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's a decent one, too.
Yeah.
I think that one would be one that I'd rather bottle than keg, and just have it when it sounds good than have to get through this keg and get tired of a beer or something.
Yeah, I would say that going through 5 gallons of cream ale for me would be a little difficult, just based on my personal preferences, but it is nice to have around, especially on a nice hot summer day or when you just come in from working outside. It's crisp, refreshing. It's nice.
Yeah. I think probably the best part of it though is like if I had something like this kegged, then I'd come home after work, fill a pint or two, and not feel guilty about it, and just when you have a good IPA, generally you're going to be in the 6% range.
It's true. And then when you have an Imperial IPA, it's usually something that might sit in your fridge for a week or two after you bought it, just waiting for that one night where you can actually sit down and enjoy it. Because, I mean, doing that on a work night tends to be a little on the gray side for me. But, yeah, that has become a problem, I guess. But, that's nice.